Welcome to the Book of Recaps. Today, I am going to show you a thriller sci-fi movie named MindGamers. In the beginning, Croy, dressed as a priest, is praying in front of a big picture of Jesus. A church leader named Mosco tells him to get up. They start talking about Croy's work, which people have been discussing. Croy says science and religion are connected and that his work can help bring people back to the church. But Mosco seems suspicious and wants to see some old records. They go into a room together. Inside, there are people working on something strange. They see a young person hooked up to a machine. Mosco is really surprised and scared. He tries to go to the child but is stopped. Croy's people hit Mosco with a stick and he falls down. The people working there introduce themselves. They're all students learning about science and technology. They get small chips that they put on their necks. One of them sees a person in trouble on a computer but ignores it. Later, we see one of the students waking up from sleep and another one leaving the building. Jackson wakes up two friends, Dylan and Rollo, and goes to his office. He finds a tiny spot of blood and is looking at it when another person, the boss, comes in. They talk about the team Jackson picked. Jackson explains why he chose each person. The boss calls them strange and dangerous. Jackson keeps explaining his choices. The boss finally says they trust Jackson, so he can do what he wants. Jackson and Dylan watch a video of people controlling each other's minds. Back at work, the team tries to make a paralyzed person move their hand using just their mind, but it doesn't work. The boss tells Jackson that they are running out of time to get results. One of the team members, Agnes, is watching bats. Another team member takes something from her pocket. They talk about how hard it will be to get past security because of what Agnes took, but Jackson says it will be okay. Finally, they all go through a special door. The friends wait for Agnes to go through a security check. Just as they're about to leave, they're stopped by guards because someone important is coming. It's a man in a black hood sitting in a wheelchair, pushed by the same church leader from before. Everyone goes to a big room for a talk. A man introduces another man named Kreutz, who is wearing a mask. Kreutz starts talking about a special machine he built that works like a human brain. He wants a special group to use it. But then, a young woman stands up and questions his reasons. She tells everyone to wake up and then leaves the room. Jackson's footsteps echoed behind her, heavy and urgent. He reached her, his breath coming in ragged gasps. "Agnes, please," he managed to say, his voice trembling. His eyes darted between her and the yawning chasm below. Agnes wakes up from a bad dream with Jackson by her side. He helps her sit up and asks if she's okay. Maddie comes in and sits with her too, followed by Rollo. Dylan enters carrying pills, and Maddie tells Jackson to take him out of the room. Jackson and Dylan leave the room, but Jackson is stopped by someone in the hallway. He's given a message to meet with a mysterious master. Driven to a secret location, Jackson watches a video of his past experiments. A creepy guy takes him to a dark room with a huge hole in the floor. He sees a man named Enoch down there. Suddenly, an old man in a wheelchair appears, accusing Jackson of using his friends. He offers to help Jackson in exchange for restoring his body. Confused and shaken, Jackson runs away and has a strange vision of the woman from the lecture hall. Agnes is writing in blood red ink while Maddie listens to a professor criticize the students' bio tags. Jackson shows Voltaire a successful experiment where he brought a dead rat back to life. Stella, a mysterious woman, interrupts and asks questions. Jackson tries to figure out who she is, but she avoids answering. She tells him Agnes is finished and he rushes out. Agnes, wearing a strange wing, jumps off the roof. Jackson trips over Stella and misses seeing Agnes fall. The students hold a vigil for Agnes, and Maddie finds Stella wearing Agnes's bathrobe in her room. After a tense moment, Stella removes Agnes's robe and leaves. De Silva introduces a new team member, a brilliant but possibly difficult woman named Stella. Rollo warns her about hot drinks in the lab, and she introduces herself as a nanotech quantum biologist. When she interacts with a monitor, the display changes, alarming Jackson. Jackson questions Stella about the monitor, but she ignores him. Later, Rollo explains his theory that Agnes's suicide was a proof of afterlife. Jackson mentions his experiment being tampered with, upsetting Rollo. Dylan calms Rollo down. Maddie is seen repeatedly reading a line from a religious book. Stella leaves campus and goes to an abandoned building where strange people are dancing. The team follows Stella without Maddie. They watch her join a group of dancers, including Voltaire. Rollo and the others burst in, threatening the dancers to release Stella. But after seeing the situation, Rollo calms down. The team brings Voltaire to the lab. Rollo is surprised to see Voltaire move his hand and realizes Stella had access to Enoch, but wonders how she got the codes. Stella arrives and claims everyone contributed to the project. Maddie enters, blaming Agnes's death for creating a space for Stella, and removes her bio tag, ending her participation. Voltaire insists they can't stop because it's his chance to regain his body. As Rollo and Dylan try to follow Maddie, Stella copies Voltaire's dance moves. Everyone is amazed by Stella's skills. Rollo realizes Stella and Voltaire are linked through the network. Jackson accuses Stella of stealing Enoch's codes, but she claims Kreutz invited her. Jackson is upset that Kreutz gave Stella all his research, but Rollo points out that Jackson actually stole the research from him. Regardless, Rollo wants to be connected to the network and shows off some new abilities. Dylan also agrees to be connected, and both of them rush off to try out their new powers. The team discusses needing more people to help Voltaire move his whole body. Voltaire suggests connecting his crew, but Jackson says it's not enough. Rollo proposes connecting all the students, but Stella disagrees, saying someone needs to stay off the network as a control. She suggests Jackson takes this role, as he's always wanted to be in control. Meanwhile, Mosca puts a bio tag on Kreutz, who has a vision of himself with Da Silva. Jackson tries to get Maddie's attention by knocking on her door while she watches a video. Jackson listens to Maddie's video through the door, and she eventually opens it, holding a stick. Rollo interrupts and pulls Jackson away, commenting on his pale appearance. The students attend a graduation ball while Mosca prepares Kreutz. Rollo and Dylan dance together, and Rollo tells Jackson to start the experiment. The assessor arrives as Rollo convinces a hesitant girl named Minnie to dance. Through the network, she becomes a natural dancer. Voltaire and his crew enter, picking up bio tags. Dylan is at the turntable. Jackson urges him to give the word. Dylan makes a short speech about joining everyone in the hall together. He then counts down and jumps into the crowd at the count of 1. Everyone starts dancing the same way while Voltaire and Kreutz begin regaining some of their mobility. Jackson notices that comms and scans are down. He tries to reach his friends with this info, but they can't hear him. Voltaire regains total mobility and joins the dancing. Meanwhile, Jackson sees the video of a little girl that looks like Stella running up a staircase. The dancers have now moved out of the building and are standing on the steps to it. Meanwhile, Stella watches from a rooftop. Jackson also sees Stella on his screen. Kreutz is finally on his feet. Jackson notices a red figure in the middle of the dancers. He recognizes the person as Maddie. Maddie reveals herself and attacks Rollo with a baseball bat. Jackson rushes out of the lab, but Maddie takes his bio tag and joins the network, causing a disruption. She attacks the other students, but Voltaire and some others fight back. She overpowers them, except for one who knocks her out. Stella shows emotion from her rooftop as she watches. Jackson eventually arrives at the scene. Da Silva blames Jackson for the chaos and flees, only to be attacked by the assessor. Jackson intervenes, defeating the assessor and rushing to Da Silva's aid. Her dying words are a haunting accusation of what could have been. Surrounded by the bodies of his friends, Jackson stares at Stella in the distance before being knocked unconscious by a car. Stella mouths the words "I'm sorry" and walks away. She walks to where Enoch is kept. She sees Mosca strapped to a bed of some sort. He briefly talks about his struggle to control Enoch and how he has finally mastered it. Stella turns to face him. As she looks at him, the lights go off, and the door closes. Slightly alarmed, he asks what this means and who she is. We see a flashback to when she was a little girl, and he was a priest. Back in the present, Kreutz realizes Stella is Enoch and tries to hold her as she falls into the chasm, but she disintegrates, leaving him frozen in shock. The next scene shows Kreutz lecturing to a new class of students, including Jackson and his team, with Stella present. Da Silva joins Kreutz at the end of the lecture, and they hold hands as the students applaud. Stella gives a smiley face and leaves the hall. The image of Stella amidst disintegrating buildings is visually striking and suggests a potential cataclysmic event. It's unclear whether she's the cause or a catalyst of this destruction. The swirling motion could symbolize chaos, creation, or something entirely different. This ending offers a sense of finality while also leaving room for speculation about Stella's role and the overall implications of the events.